Sister banned my boyfriend from her wedding to satisfy her fiancé's creepy brother, and I'm caught between obeying her or opting out. I met my boyfriend in college 7 years ago, and we started officially dating 5 years back. He's always been incredibly close to my family. He was there for my niece's births, their baptisms, every Christmas, family vacation, you name it. We're deeply committed to each other for the long haul, but neither of us wants to get married until we're financially secure and our careers are exactly where we want them to be. My sister, on the other hand, has been with her fiancé for 2 years and engaged for 6 months. She's one of those people who's dreamed of getting married since she was a little girl. The thing is, it never really mattered who proposed, she just wanted the wedding, the party, the whole thing. I'm the opposite. I've never cared whether I get married or not. A good career and genuine happiness with my partner have always been enough for me. In the early days of her relationship, my sister tricked me into going on a double date with her fiancé and his brother. She insisted it was just dinner with her and a friend, definitely not the case. The brother kept making passes at me the entire night. I told him I had a boyfriend, but the whole thing left me really uncomfortable. Ever since then, every time I run into this guy, he's just weird toward me. At their engagement party, my boyfriend picked up right away on the fact that the brother wouldn't stop staring at me. Both of us did everything we could to avoid him the whole evening. Now the wedding is a month away, early May, and my sister has asked me, my twin, we're fraternal, and our 2 brothers to be in her wedding. I just found out she expects me to walk down the aisle with her fiancé's brother, the same persistent guy who creeps me out. I told her he makes me really uncomfortable, and I'd assumed I'd be walking with one of my own brothers. But apparently, her fiancé is insisting on this, and she wants to make him happy. The whole thing reeks of some weird scheme between the 2 brothers. My other siblings agree it's bizarre and told her so, but she got upset and started with the "it's my wedding, I'll do what I want" speech. When I told my boyfriend about all this, he was upset for me, but he's secure enough to know this guy could never be competition for him. He hates seeing me uncomfortable in this situation, though. The next family dinner at my mom's house, I decided to bring up the whole situation so my mom could chime in. My sister completely lost it. She started crying, accusing me of trying to ruin her marriage. I was honestly confused, and so was everyone else. I tried to explain again that her fiancé's brother creeps both me and my boyfriend out, but she escalated things even further. Out of nowhere, she announced I couldn't bring my boyfriend to the wedding at all, and, if I insisted, I'd no longer be a bridesmaid. She refused to give any real reason. My siblings were just as baffled, especially since they all like my boyfriend way more than her fiancé. I figured I'd give her a few days to calm down and maybe come to her senses, but she's holding firm. It hurts even more because my 19-year-old brother's girlfriend is still invited. No problem. My boyfriend is amazing. He's gone out of his way to be nothing but kind and generous to my sister, and I know his feelings are hurt. Even so, he's still encouraging me to go to the wedding without him if I want. I'm just so angry. My life partner, the person I love and trust, wouldn't be allowed to come to my own sister's wedding? I honestly don't care that much about being her bridesmaid, but the idea of showing up alone out of deference to some bizarre request from her creepy soon-to-be brother-in-law just makes my blood boil. Should I bring my boyfriend anyway and let her deal with it, or just opt out? Should I press the issue and insist she's being unfair? I love my sister, but I honestly don't get what's going through her head, why she's bending over backward for such a ridiculous, uncomfortable request. Right now, I just feel completely lost, and my family has no idea what to do either. Update 1. Let me quickly lay out what's been happening, because things have spiraled way out of control. My sister's fiancé has a brother who's made a bunch of sexual advances at me in the past, and, if you can believe it, my own sister has actually encouraged it. She even set me up on a double date with him without telling me what was going on. Meanwhile, my relationship with my boyfriend is serious. We're going to get married eventually, and everyone knows this. That brother has always creeped me out, so I avoid him at all costs. Despite this, my sister decided to switch up her wedding plan so that I would be walking down the aisle with him instead of my own brother, which was the original plan. There are 4 of us siblings, 2 girls, 2 guys, and this just felt like another stunt. I brought it up at a family dinner, told her I wasn't cool with it, and, not surprisingly, it turned into an argument. She cried, and in the middle of this mess, declared that I couldn't bring my boyfriend to her wedding. In fact, if I insisted on it, she said I'd be kicked out of the bridal party. So, I gathered my brothers and headed to my parents' house. I laid everything out for them, how her fiancé's brother treats me, how uncomfortable he makes me, and how my sister keeps disrespecting my relationship. My dad was furious about the trap date she pulled and was completely on my side. My mom, on the other hand, dropped the classic, think what people will say if you're not in the wedding party, routine. Honestly, I couldn't care less about the extended family's gossip. My mom called a family meeting with my sister and my twin. My dad asked my sister directly why I wasn't walking with my brother anymore, and she claimed it was all about making her fiancé happy. I pressed her, asking why it was such a big deal for me to walk with his brother. I told her flat out that he was creepy as hell and that I wouldn't be surprised if he tried something worse. That made her lose it. She started crying, yelling about how we were ruining her special day and how this was everything she ever wanted. I was beyond done with the fighting and just told her, fine, I'll come to the wedding as a guest, but I'll leave before the reception. My twin and younger brother sided with me immediately and said they wouldn't be in the wedding party if I wasn't. That pushed my sister totally over the edge. She started screaming, hurling every name in the book at me, stuff I can't even repeat without cringing, and even called my boyfriend names. I decided I needed to get out of there and let my parents handle her, but when I tried to leave, she ran after me, yanked my hair, and just wouldn't let go. Reflex kicked in, so I grabbed her hair right back. She's got extensions, and in the struggle, I wrecked them and pulled some of her real hair out too. She tried to come at me again, and in pure instinct, I punched her in the face. I didn't even mean to, it was just a snap reaction to her running at me, but now she's got a black eye, a cut on her cheek, and some missing hair. And with her bachelorette party coming up next week, she's absolutely livid. Now my mom's angry at me, my dad isn't, and my sister is threatening to press charges. I don't know if she can actually do that or if she's just trying to scare me. She's also pissed because our siblings won't be at her wedding. She told my mom that if I apologize and agree to be in the wedding, she'll let me walk with my brother instead, but I don't trust her. I feel like she would pull some last-minute switch and make me walk with her fiancé's brother anyway. At this point, it just feels like too much trouble and the whole thing isn't worth it. My parents want all their kids at the wedding because they're paying for it, but I feel completely disrespected by my sister and don't want my boyfriend or myself to be dragged into any more of her drama. Thankfully, my twin and younger brother are behind me no matter what I decide. My boyfriend feels responsible for all the drama, which he shouldn't, because none of this is his fault. My sister claims I've ruined her wedding, but honestly, she did that herself. Now I'm left with 3 options: go as a guest, be in the wedding, or not go at all. I know my parents will be upset if I don't attend, but I seriously can't handle any more tension from her. I've already decided that after this wedding, I'll be limiting my contact with her for a long time. Update 2. I've heard plenty of wild theories about my situation. Some people seem to hope my sister will attack me again, or that I'll get her arrested, or even cause a scene at her wedding. I wish this was just a movie because playing the lead in this drama isn't nearly as fun as it sounds. To clear up some confusion, no, race isn't an issue here at all. My family is French and Puerto Rican. My boyfriend is Italian, and my sister's fiancé is just your average white guy. Don't ask me about his exact background because I have no clue. There's also been some mix-up about my siblings. I'm one of 5 kids. When I said there'd be 2 girls and 2 guys walking down the aisle, it was because, besides my sister, the bride, 4 of us siblings were walking. I meant my twin sister when I kept saying twin, so she wouldn't be confused with the one getting married. My sister, the bride, is the second oldest. People also keep speculating about money. We're a solidly middle-class family. The reason my parents are footing the bill for my sister's wedding and not mine isn't favoritism, it's because she didn't go to college and I did. My parents covered most of my tuition, and honestly, I don't care for a fancy or expensive wedding anyhow. They can't really withdraw their support now, because the wedding has already been paid for. At her bachelorette party, my sister still had a black eye, so she switched the venue to a place with mood lighting and packed on the makeup. Me, my twin, my 2 brothers, and my boyfriend decided to hit a club instead. We had an incredible night and got completely trashed. Later, I heard from a friend of hers that she was telling everyone she got hit with a car door, not my fist, which honestly made me roll my eyes. She's always been a bit unhinged. Back in high school, she and my twin would fight like cats and dogs. Every time my sister broke up with someone, she would just fall apart, a total breakdown, convinced her life was over. I've seen her unraveling like this since she was 12. I used to fight constantly with my parents about the way they'd excuse her outlandish behavior, which played a big part in why I chose a college across the country. During those years, I pretty much never talked to her. When I moved back home, she did seem to have matured, and for a while, we actually got along. But she still occasionally blows up over ridiculous things, like this wedding. Recently, I texted my future brother-in-law, asking why he and his brother were so obsessed with me. I shouldn't have expected an answer. So my dad and I went down to see him. That's when we found out, my sister had apparently been telling him I was interested in him and would leave my boyfriend. I have no clue who invented this twisted version of events. My dad lost his temper and told him to stay the hell away from me and my boyfriend. For years, I've told my sister she needed therapy, but she refuses. I try to get my mom to help. Mom suggested family therapy, and while my sister refused, she did say she'd talk with me and our mom. When she first started dating her now fiancé, she introduced me to him as well as his brother at a work New Year's party. This was her first boyfriend who had actual husband potential. Apparently, his brother commented that he found me attractive and my sister instantly latched onto that, telling him I wasn't in a serious relationship. It had been 3 years with my boyfriend by that point, and that I was just his type. Completely untrue, she made him believe my boyfriend was just a placeholder, which couldn't be further from reality. The whole situation just makes no sense to me, especially since my twin is single. Though we're fraternal twins, different looks, different heights, and very different personalities, my twin is gorgeous and actually single. Yet, my sister chose to spin a story about me. Over the years, my sister's jealousy toward my relationship would sometimes seep through. She'd make comments about how she'd never have what I have with my boyfriend, maybe that was her motivation. Then, about a month ago and right before her dramatic ultimatum, she found out she was pregnant. I had no idea at the time. Now, she's convinced that unless she can force this bizarre brother pairing to happen, her fiancé will leave her, and being a single mom is scarier than tearing her family apart. It's still early in her pregnancy, so she has options, but for some unknown reason, she's locked in on this course. That conversation with her got ugly. I ran out of patience. I snapped and told her something along the lines of, "Sorry you're so pathetic you date any guy who looks at you, and you still can't land a good relationship. You'll probably be divorced before labor." Yes, I was mean, but I was pissed off and could have said worse. My boyfriend insists we go to the wedding no matter how insane things get. He's always loved being part of my family since he doesn't have close ties with his own siblings, and he thinks I'll regret walking away from my own later. He's still hurt by all the trouble my sister stirred up, but I keep reassuring him that everyone in my family loves him, and that I always will. We're just going to attend the ceremony as guests, then leave as soon as the vows are done. My brothers and my twin will walk in together as a trio, since we took some family photos together at a park beforehand so our parents would have some nice memories, and we look damn good. They're not sure if they'll stick around for the whole event, they'll see how they feel. My older brother is staying for the full reception so he can have some words with the brother. People suggested, jokingly or not, that my boyfriend should propose at the wedding, but I'd never stoop to that. Why make an ugly situation uglier? Plus, public proposals are just not my thing. Me and my boyfriend have been happy doing our own thing, not letting the drama get to us. And if my sister ever tries to attack me again, I'm ready. She's not much of a fighter, which is why I have no clue why she picked this fight to begin with. Oh, and as for whether it's incest if sisters date brothers, it absolutely isn't. I even have cousins who are married to sisters, and no one would ever call that incest. I'm not excusing the insanity, but people can just stop with that pseudo-moral outrage. After the wedding, when the wedding day arrived, I wore my bridesmaid dress. No way was I splurging on something new. My boyfriend and I showed up as late as possible to cut down on the number of awkward questions from relatives about why I wasn't up front in the wedding party. A few aunts and uncles asked, and I just said, "My sister lost her mind, ask her." I stayed close to the cousins I had confided in, the ones who already knew my sister could be a nutcase now and then. The ones who knew my boyfriend's invited been pulled were pissed for us, especially since plenty of others had brought their own dates. And so, that's how we survived my sister's wedding saga, bruises, drama, and all. I sat in the very front row, right where my sister, her new husband, and his insufferable brother could see me with my very serious, handsome, loving boyfriend. He was a steady presence by my side, holding my hand through it all and making sure I was okay. If anything, witnessing this circus of a wedding only solidified my own feelings. There's no way I ever want a big wedding. Maybe a party at most, just real joy, none of this performative nonsense. It happened only once. The brother's eyes locked on me, full of whatever delusion he had been nursing. I shut that down instantly, leaning over to kiss my boyfriend in full view. Let there be no mistake, the man I love is the one sitting next to me, and it will never be him. The moment the wedding party walked back down the aisle, I said a quick goodbye to the people who deserved it, those who actually mattered to me. And then I was out of there, not willing to waste another breath. My boyfriend and I made for a bar, threw ourselves into the music, and danced until I finally felt completely free. I'm honestly relieved I went. I'll be ready to say I told you so when this whole marriage inevitably explodes in 6 months. I won't lie, there was immense satisfaction in knowing that delusional sorry excuse of a man saw me kissing the man I actually love. That will never, ever be him. My twin sister enjoyed herself too, maybe a little too much. She had quite a few drinks and wasn't shy about letting my sister have it. I never asked her to get involved, but that's just who she is. A little booze only amplified her honesty. Meanwhile, my younger brother was busy telling nearly every family member about the real reason I wasn't at the reception, how my sister completely lost it on me. Apparently, my older brother tried talking to my now brother-in-law, though I have no idea what was said. I never pressed for details, I just took in what my siblings happened to tell me. I can't help but feel bad for my sister. She's essentially trapped herself with a guy who is, in every way, a subpar bottom feeder, the kind of man with zero qualities that would make any woman jump through so many hoops. He has the personality of an old Adidas sandal. I just wish she respected herself more, expected more from life, and set higher standards. I don't know the full extent of their relationship, and I pray he isn't abusive. I have to believe she at least has enough self-respect not to put up with that, but who really knows? Maybe they're in love, maybe he's just using her. This marriage probably won't last, but she's tied to him for at least 18 years. I almost understand her point, fearing single motherhood, but our little brother is a single dad and handling it just fine. For now, I plan on keeping my distance from her. I still have no idea what their real plan was for trying to set me up with the brother. Even after some pretty direct questioning, nobody gave me clear answers. I honestly can't tell how serious my new brother-in-law was about pushing his loser brother onto me. Those two brothers, I swear, were either completely neglected as kids or breastfed until they were teenagers. There's no in between. With all this behind me, I'm more excited than ever for my summer vacation with my boyfriend. I might even extend it a little, who knows, maybe we'll get married in France, just for the hell of it. Update 3. Well, I thought the wedding drama was behind us, but life apparently had other plans. It's been 3 months since my sister's circus of a wedding, and holy shit, things have gotten complicated in ways I never saw coming. First off, my boyfriend and I did extend our summer vacation in France. We had an amazing time, and yes, we did talk seriously about getting married there, just the two of us, maybe next spring. Nothing official yet, but we're both ready to take that step. It feels right, especially after witnessing my sister's performative nightmare of a wedding. But here's where things get messy. About 2 weeks after we got back, my twin called me in tears. Apparently, she'd been hooking up with my sister's new brother-in-law, the creepy one who'd been obsessing over me. I know, it sounds like a bad soap opera, but hear me out. Turns out, after getting properly drunk at the wedding reception, my twin decided to teach him a lesson by flirting with him, just to mess with his head since he'd been such a creep to me. One thing led to another, and they ended up hooking up that night. She thought it would be a one-time thing to fuck with him, but apparently the sex was incredible, and they've been secretly meeting up ever since. The kicker? She's caught feelings. Real ones. And now she's pregnant. My twin, who's always been the smart, level-headed one, is completely losing her mind over this situation. She doesn't know if she should tell him about the pregnancy, especially since she knows how he treated me. But she also can't shake the feeling that maybe he was only acting crazy because my sister had filled his head with lies about me being interested. Meanwhile, my sister has been radio silent with the whole family since the wedding. Mom keeps trying to get us all together for dinner, but my sister keeps making excuses. Dad thinks she's embarrassed about how everything went down, but I'm starting to suspect there's more to it. Last week, I ran into one of her work friends at the grocery store, and she let slip that my sister's been having a rough time. Apparently, her new husband has been acting weird and distant since the wedding. He keeps asking her why I didn't stay for the reception and seems obsessed with the fact that his brother never got to properly meet me. The friend said my sister's been crying at work almost daily. Then yesterday, everything exploded. My sister showed up at my apartment at 11 p.m., sobbing and looking like she hadn't slept in days. She begged me to come inside, saying she needed to tell me something important. Here's what she confessed. Her husband has been pressuring her to invite me and my boyfriend over for dinner ever since they got back from their honeymoon. When she refuses, he gets angry and starts accusing her of keeping him from his family. She said he's become fixated on the idea that his brother and I would be perfect together and keeps bringing up how I ruined their wedding by not giving his brother a chance. But here's the really fucked up part. She thinks her husband might be cheating on her. She found texts on his phone from some woman named Jessica, and when she confronted him, he said Jessica was just helping him plan a surprise for her. She doesn't believe him, especially since he's been staying out late and being secretive with his phone. She's also apparently been having horrible morning sickness and is terrified of being pregnant and potentially getting divorced at the same time. She begged me to help her figure out what to do, and for the first time in months, she actually seemed like my sister again, not the crazy bride-to-be who attacked me. I told her about my twin's situation, without mentioning the pregnancy part, thinking it might help her understand that her brother-in-law isn't the saint she thought he was. She went pale when I told her he'd been sleeping with my twin, and then she started laughing hysterically. Apparently, her husband had been asking her constantly if my twin was single and available. So now I'm stuck in the middle of this insane situation where both my sisters are pregnant by these brothers, neither marriage seems stable, and I'm the only one who knows everything that's going on. My twin doesn't know that my sister's husband has been asking about her, and my sister doesn't know my twin is pregnant. My boyfriend thinks I should stay out of it entirely, but these are my sisters, and despite everything, I love them both. I'm supposed to have lunch with my twin tomorrow to talk about her pregnancy situation, and I honestly have no idea what to tell her. Part of me thinks she deserves to know that her baby's father is married to my sister and his brother is potentially cheating, but another part of me thinks it'll just make everything worse. The whole family dynamic is completely fucked now. My parents still don't know about any of this new drama, and I'm dreading the moment when everything comes to light. My younger brother suspects something's up because both my sisters have been MIA from family events, but he hasn't pressed me for details yet. I keep thinking about how different things could have been if my sister had just let me walk with my own brother at her wedding like originally planned. None of this would have happened, but then again, maybe it was all inevitable. Maybe she and her husband are just fundamentally incompatible, and maybe my twin needed to learn the hard way that revenge sex can lead to complicated feelings. Either way, I have a feeling this whole mess is just getting started. My sister's marriage is hanging by a thread, my twin is pregnant with a married man's baby, and I'm apparently the keeper of everyone's secrets. At least my relationship is solid. My boyfriend has been incredibly supportive through all of this chaos, and it's only made me more sure that he's the one I want to marry. I just hope I can figure out how to help my sisters without destroying what's left of our family in the process. Update 4. I honestly don't know where to even start with this clusterfuck. Remember how I thought things couldn't get more complicated? Yeah, I was wrong. Dead wrong. The lunch with my twin last week was supposed to be simple, just talk through her pregnancy situation and maybe give her some sisterly advice. Instead, it turned into the most insane conversation of my life. I decided to tell her everything about my sister's marriage problems and how her husband had been asking about her availability. I figured she deserved to know what kind of family she was potentially getting tangled up with. My twin went completely silent for about 5 minutes, just staring at her untouched salad. Then she looked at me and said, "I need to tell you something, and you're going to think I'm the worst person alive." Turns out, she already knew about my sister's husband asking questions about her. Because he'd been texting her directly. For weeks. And not just casual "how are you" texts, we're talking full-on flirting, telling her how beautiful she looked at the wedding, asking if she was seeing anyone seriously. She'd been ignoring most of them, but a few times she'd responded just to be polite. But here's the kicker that made my blood run cold. The night before my sister showed up at my apartment crying, my twin had gotten a text from my sister's husband asking if she wanted to meet up for coffee. Just the two of them. To get to know each other better since they're family now. My twin was planning to ignore it, but now that she knows my sister suspects he's cheating, she's wondering if she should tell her about the texts. I asked her if she thought my sister's husband knew about her and his brother, and she got this weird look on her face. That's when she dropped another bomb. She thinks he might know, because his brother had been acting strange lately, asking her weird questions about family loyalty and whether she'd ever considered dating more than one person from the same family. I felt sick. The whole situation was spiraling into some twisted game between these brothers, and my sisters were the pawns. 3 days later, everything exploded. My mom called me at work, sobbing hysterically. She'd gotten a call from my sister, who was at the emergency room. She'd confronted her husband about the text to my twin after finding even more messages on his phone. Apparently he'd been saving screenshots of my twin's social media photos and had created some kind of folder with pictures of both my twin and me. When she confronted him, he didn't deny it. Instead, he told her that he'd married the wrong sister, that he'd been attracted to me from the start but settled for her when I wasn't available. Then he said that since my twin looked similar to me, maybe she could be a compromise. My sister completely lost it and started throwing things at him. During the fight, she fell and started bleeding. She was only about 10 weeks pregnant, but they rushed her to the hospital thinking she might be having a miscarriage. The baby was okay, but my sister was in shock. My mom stayed with her while I tried to track down my twin to tell her what happened. When I finally reached her, she was crying so hard I could barely understand her. She'd gotten a call from the brother, her baby's father, telling her that his family situation was complicated and that maybe they should take a break from seeing each other. No explanation, no concern for her pregnancy that he doesn't even know about yet. My boyfriend and I rushed to the hospital. My sister looked like she'd aged 10 years in one night. The first thing she said to me was, "You were right about everything. I'm so sorry." She told me that her husband had admitted that the whole brother setup was his idea from the beginning. He'd been obsessed with me since their engagement party and had been trying to find ways to get closer to me. When his brother mentioned finding me attractive, he saw an opportunity to potentially get both of us involved with their family. The really sick part? He'd been planning to try to break up me and my boyfriend by having his brother steal me away, and then he was going to console me and be there for me during the heartbreak. When that plan failed spectacularly at the wedding, he shifted his attention to my twin as the next best thing. My sister filed for separation that night. She's moving back in with my parents for now, and she's talking about divorce. She keeps saying she feels like she never really knew the man she married. Meanwhile, I had to tell my twin about what really happened. She was devastated, not just about losing the guy she'd fallen for, but about being used as some kind of replacement for me. She finally decided to tell him about the pregnancy over text, just to see how he'd react. His response was to ask if she was sure it was his and then to suggest she take care of it because the timing wasn't right. She blocked his number immediately after that. Now both my sisters are pregnant, both relationships are destroyed, and our family is completely fractured. My parents are supportive but overwhelmed. My younger brother is furious and keeps talking about paying those assholes a visit, which I'm trying to discourage. My older brother has been weirdly quiet about the whole thing, which worries me. The strangest part of all this is how close my twin and I have gotten to my sister again. All the wedding drama seems insignificant now compared to what those brothers put us through. She's been apologizing nonstop for everything, the bridesmaid situation, trying to set me up, not believing me about her brother-in-law being creepy. She's even suggested that she was so desperate to make her marriage work that she was willing to sacrifice my comfort and happiness. My twin is planning to keep the baby and raise it as a single mom. My sister is still deciding what she wants to do about her pregnancy and her marriage. She's talking to a lawyer about divorce options, but apparently her soon-to-be ex-husband is already trying to manipulate the situation. He's been telling people that she's unstable and that her family turned her against him. Yesterday, I got a text from an unknown number. All it said was, "This isn't over." I'm pretty sure it was from one of the brothers, but I don't know which one. I showed my boyfriend, and he's talking about us getting a restraining order if they keep harassing my family. I never thought I'd say this, but the wedding fight with my sister seems like a minor disagreement compared to this nightmare. At least then we were fighting with each other instead of being manipulated by outside assholes. My boyfriend has been incredible through all of this. He's been the steady presence keeping me grounded while my entire family falls apart. We've been talking more seriously about getting engaged soon, not because of the drama, but because watching my sisters go through this has made me realize how lucky I am to have someone genuine and trustworthy. I just hope this is the end of it, but something tells me those brothers aren't going to disappear quietly. My sister's lawyer says the divorce could get ugly, especially with a baby involved, and my twin is worried about potential custody issues down the road. At least we're all on the same side now. It just took a complete disaster to get us here.